Hi, this is Reese Lewis here to give you 10 tips on how to unpicky. Yes, that's the word I made up. How to unpicky your picky eater. Just recently, and by recently I mean about a year ago, because I've been implementing this for a little over a year. I've decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go old school. I'm gonna do what grandma and grandpa used to do, which was prepare the food, put it before you, and give you the option of whether you want to eat or you want to go hungry. And you know what, people? It works. So without further ado, let's start with tip number one. Tip number one deals with your head and your heart. Now, I know you love your little babies, or else you wouldn't be here trying to figure out how to improve their quality of life with healthy eating. So you got to deal with your mind and your heart, because your children are not going to go over without a fight. They're naturally little manipulators, and they will have you thinking that you're the worst parent in the world just because you decided not to be a short order cook and cave into their every whim and demand to cook something different, or to give them, this snack instead of what you've prepared. And if you have more than one child, that can just be too much. If you have more than one child and all these different um, requests, it becomes overwhelming, and really it's quite unnecessary. So prepare your heart and mind to stay the course. Otherwise, the rest of these tips that I'm about to give you is not even going to matter, because your children will somehow find a way to convince you to veer off course and cave into their every whim when it comes to feeding them. All right. Tip number two, be smart and fair about scheduling meal times. And when you schedule meal times, make sure you have hearty meals that's going to saturate them, that's going to fill them up, so that they're less prone to indulge in mindless snacking. I mean, if you notice, we're a snacking culture. We snack when we're happy, we snack when we're sad, we snack when we're bored. We snack just to snack. And all that snacking adds up to a child not wanting to eat this five-star meal that you diligently prepared for them. So make sure you cut out all the mindless snacking. I know they go through growth spurts, and there are some moments where they really are hungry, and that's fine. Just make sure you have some whole food options available for them. Let go of the Little Debbie, the fruit roll-ups. What else is popular that I'm saying? Oh, the chips. All that equates to a palate that's cultivating junk. And when you're ready to feed them real whole foods, they're not going to want to eat it, because they're so used to the taste of all these junk food snacks. And not only that, it's going to mess up their appetite. All right, tip number three. Oh yes, offer water more than anything else. Water should be the main drink in the household. Cut out the soda, cut out the juice, cut out the artificial flavored milks, because that's just going to give them more ammunition to put up a fight when it comes time for mealtime. You want them to be drinking water so that their palate and their tummies and their appetites can be ready for a real hearty meal. Tip number four. Listen, this is big. I got to put on my spectacles so I can look more serious. All right, are y'all listening to me? Stop hiding the vegetables. Yes, I said it. Stop it. Just cut it out. Stop hiding the vegetables. Introduce the vegetables to your children. Let them see it. Green vegetables is not the end of the world. As a matter of fact, green vegetables is one of the best things that you can do for your health. And they need to know that. They need to know that vegetables is not this big bag monster that they have to conquer. I mean, I'm seeing all this stuff on the market, on different websites on how to be clever in hiding your vegetables or making your the food look like cute little animals, or putting the vegetables in this type of milkshake that tastes like chocolate brownies, what have you. I mean, I guess that's fine for now, but you can't be doing that forever, because it's just too much unnecessary work, and it sets them up um, to think that food is just this big, um, arduous, much ado about nothing. Simply, if you're gonna make them some broccoli and put it on their plate and let them see it. I can't tell you how many times, and this is even me growing up, where my mom would hide the vegetables, or I used to hide the vegetables, to something that they profess to have loved, and then all of a sudden they see a little green speck and they're just like, oh no, I can't eat it anymore because I see a piece of spinach, or I see a piece of bell pepper or whatever. Don't hide the vegetables. Let them see it. That way they can get used to it, and they can know that it is what it is. They have to get over the irrational fear of vegetables. And you do that best by simply just giving it to them and letting them eat it, and letting them see it. So don't hide the vegetables. All right, where am I? Tip number 5: cut your picky eaters some slack. Help them succeed by including some of their favorites. Yes, I do require, like, it is a requirement in my home for my children to eat their vegetables, but at the same time, I try to include foods that they love and that they enjoy, so that every mealtime is not this sad, somber occasion. I always try to include things that they like, or consider, or should I say, consider their likes and dislikes. It may not always work out because I have budget and time restraints and things of those natures to factor in. But set your children up for success by also including some of the things that they like. And also with that, my children love their daddy's white rice, and I love it too. And if you've ever had it, you would understand why my husband's rice is like none other. It's so good that that can be the main course, and that's it. And I didn't even grow up eating rice like that, but when he cooks his rice, I can eat the rice and nothing else, and I am good to go. Well, same thing with my children. So when my husband cooks his special rice, and they know it, and they always know it because they smell it in the air and they go talk amongst themselves. Daddy's making rice. It's like it's a big it's a big deal in my house. So what I'll do sometimes is I will not put any rice on their plate, especially if I know I'm going to include a vegetable that they're going to give me a hard time about. I'll put that on their plate first, and I'll say something like, okay, you have to finish, 4 string beans and 5 bites of salmon, then you can get daddy's rice. So that sets them up. And usually, most times, 9 times out of 10, especially when it's the rice they're waiting for, it works. So make sure you create opportunities that they can easily succeed. All right. Tip number, where am I? Thank you, baby. Tip number 6. When your children say, I don't like it. Okay, in my house, that's a non-factor. It's not that I don't care, or maybe it is that I don't care that they don't like it. But it's just a non-factor, because their I don't like it can simply really mean they don't like the color of something. They don't like the way it's sitting on their plate. They don't like the way that it's looking at them. They don't like that it's touching something else. And to me, those are not really reasons to consider making something else. And when you entertain that I don't like it, it sets up unrealistic expectations. And they think that, okay, because I said I don't like something, I'm gonna get a snack, or they're gonna cook. Ellie, please stop before you drop the bowl. Um, they're gonna cook something different. Eliana, sorry, this is real life. Babe, can you come get Eliana before she breaks this bowl? Yes, and this is real life with all right, we're back again with tip number 7. Know when to let up. Yes, I am like, my heart and mind is ready. Nothing can veer me off. I can't be manipulated or convinced otherwise. If they don't like something, if they don't want something, but there is a moment where I'm just like, okay, you can have this battle. And that's when they try something and it starts their gag reflexes going. We all have those foods that the smell of it or the texture of it just completely turns our stomach, and it's just, completely turns us off, and it literally makes us feel like gagging if we try it. And there's just certain foods that we won't ever grow to like, because for whatever reason we really don't like it. Like, that's a real I don't like it. So when they have those type of moments with foods that they really don't like, that may get their gag reflexes going, or turn their stomach, then all bets are off. Because I'm not trying to make meal times be so somber and just like this worst times for them, where they feel like, oh man, it's time to eat. No, that's not the attitude I'm trying to cultivate in my home, and the attitude that I want them to have towards food. So you got to know when to let up, and in those times, those are definitely times to let up, where you just say, okay, then you don't have to eat it. Let's set it aside and keep going with something else. All right, tip number 8. Listen, you got to make time to sit down and eat with your babies. I know that life is busy, and if you're anything like me, you'll make their food, you'll put them at the table, you get them all ready and prepared, and while they're eating, you're off washing dishes, or you're trying to clean the kitchen, or you're prepping for their bath, or whatever. You're doing something else. Well, sometimes don't do anything else. Make your plate, sit down and eat with them. There's nothing like sitting down and enjoying their company. They can feel it, they know it, and it cultivates a healthy outlook on food. And kids lead by example. You have to be an example. They have to see you, not only hear you or know that you eat the very foods that you're trying to give them. Children get into everything, but they have to see you. I can't tell you how many times that I've sat and I've eaten with them, and next thing you know, they're competing with each other, saying, "Oh, look, Mom, I just ate 2 string beans," and then you got the other one, "Oh, I can eat more than you." I didn't have to do anything. I didn't even start the competition. I just simply sat to eat with them. They see me eat it, so now they know the food is not going to attack them, and it's okay and now that they can eat it. So sit and eat with your kids. Enjoy their company. Don't directly make it about food all the time. All right. Oh, where are we? Number 9. Don't limit food selection to just the 3 food time zones, meaning breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So what I mean by that is, food is food no matter when you eat it. Sometimes because they don't eat their dinner, that salmon and broccoli is going to be breakfast. Because listen here, food is very expensive. And I put a lot of time and effort into, look at my Irish twins. I put a lot of time and effort into cooking and preparing good meals for them. So it's definitely not gonna go to waste. All right, and take 3 from the Irish twins showdowns. I left off with talking about not limiting food to a specific time zone, meaning breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Food is food, whether you eat in the morning, noon, or night. So in my house, yes, typically we have oatmeal for breakfast, but sometimes we have oatmeal for lunch. I mean, oatmeal is food before it's breakfast. So don't limit your food. That way, you won't feel weird about rolling salmon and broccoli over to breakfast, or you won't feel weird about rolling oatmeal and berries over into lunchtime, because again, food is food. Now we are finally at our last tip, which is tip number 10. And I'm talking to myself here because sometimes it's hard. And tip number 10 is to include your babies as much as possible into meal prep and grocery shopping, whatever. You know, maybe let them help you weigh the produce at the grocery store. Let them help you, you know, put the food away. And I know, I know their help is really no help at all, but still, find ways to somehow include them, because when they are included in preparing the very meal that they are about to eat, they're proud and they're more likely to try it than to put up a fight. That leaves less ammunition for them to be a picky eater because they had a hand in preparing that very meal. So make sure, although very hard, I know, you find moments to include them and letting them help. All right, this concludes my 10 tips to unpicky you're a picky eater. If you want to see tip number 11 that I did not include, simply because I was kind of on the fence about it, because it's something I do, but my husband absolutely refuses to do. But I sometimes find it a necessity because I'm with them more often and it works for me, but I am, you know, weaning off of it. If you want to see that tip, check out my website and you'll see it listed under how to unpicky your picky eaters as tip number 11. Make sure you visit me at ReeseLewis.com. Yes, that's Reese spelled like rice, LOUIS.com. And all you vegetarian and vegan families, please drop a comment below. I love to see a family out or go to the home of a family and they're eating salad like it's no big deal, because it is, because that's how the children have been trained and raised, and I just think that's so awesome. So you vegan and you vegetarian families, I definitely want to hear from you, because I'm certain you don't really have many issues in this area and with picky eaters. All right, you guys, it's been fun. Make sure you check me out. Bye.